Hey folks, it's Laura with Rain Tree Nursery. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how to harvest Asian pears. These are Asian pears, also called pear apples. They are different from European pears in a variety of ways. Number one, they're a different shape. These are kind of a fat, squat shape. They can be quite round, they can be small, they can be large. But one of the important distinguishing characteristics between Asian pears and European pears is that Asian pears must fully ripen on the tree before you take them off. Most European pears that have, what we think of as a classic pear shape can be taken off when they're mature, but if you leave them on the tree until they're fully ripe, regularly they are overripe and they're soft and even rotting on the inside. So when you're working with the beautiful Asian pears, you really want to watch the color. The color is the distinguishing characteristic of when your fruit is ripe. The color is important. Also, when you start to see a few fall onto the ground, that's when you know that you should start taking a look at your trees. You can go, and if it just comes right off when you lift it, that's fantastic. You know that's ripe. Sometimes they don't come right off when you do this. Like this one kind of doesn't want to come right off, but I'm looking at the color. I've already tasted one from the tree. I know it tastes amazing. And the seeds are also dark too. So when you put all of these pieces together, the color of the fruit, the fact that you might see a few already have dropped, and that when you lift, it may or may not come right off the tree like these. These are all indications that the fruit is probably ready to harvest. Of course, the most important part is, does it taste sweet and juicy? If it does, then you know it's fully ripe. After you harvest your Asian pears, it's extremely important to be really careful with them. In fact, as you're harvesting them, you want to be careful too, because they are incredibly delicate fruit. You may have seen Asian pears in a grocery store, and they are usually very large and covered with a styrofoam webbing that actually acts as a buffer in between each piece of fruit. Those fruits that you get at the grocery store are almost never fully ripe. I don't even bother to buy them, which is why I like having a tree in the backyard, because the flavor of the fruit you get off a tree is a million times better than anything you would get from the store. One last little hint when it comes to storing your Asian pears, because they store for months and months in the fridge. They're a great thing to just harvest your whole tree, tuck it all in your fridge, and then enjoy it well into fall and early winter. They tend to have relatively long stems. And what commercial growers will do is they'll go through and they will snip off those stems as close to the base of the fruit as they can. Because if the stems bump up against each other when you're putting them in the fridge or you're laying them in your harvest basket, they will pierce the very delicate flesh, and you might end up with a scar, something unsightly, and potentially even something that's going to not last as long. So if you think about it, go ahead and snip off those stems as you're getting ready to store them. And there you have it. All you need to know to harvest these juicy, sweet, delicious fruits at the peak of their ripeness. Thanks for joining us. It's Laura with Rain Tree Nursery, and I'm going to harvest some more Asian pears.